All right, welcome back. Shout out to Moochie in the house. I want to deal with this video right here. My goodness. This was uploaded 9 hours ago. 9 hours ago. I know some of you recognize this guy. My goodness. My goodness. I told y'all these people are making the rounds in the media, making a fool of themselves, making these arguments and just embarrassing themselves. This man had the grand finale. Okay, there is no one above this guy right here. Now, this is the guy that was driving these dogs from the UK to Scotland. Y'all remember that? Well, you see the title, and it's a quote. He said, "They've been given a bad name." And y'all remember or recognize these journalists from Good Morning Britain. I think this is Good Morning Britain. No, I'm sorry. This is Talk TV. I think y'all recognize these two. I gave them some credit on putting up a good argument. They try to challenge these dog lovers in a way that you generally don't see from journalists. They press them a bit. And, you know, a lot of their arguments, I'm talking about these two journalists here, sounds pretty anti-doggish if you ask me. So I enjoyed this little segment, and I want to point out a few things along the way.
So tell us what you've been doing. You've been transporting dogs from England and Wales to Scotland in an attempt to sort of circumvent the ban, but the legislation changes in Scotland, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm transporting them anywhere to anyone that was willing to take them on. The Scotland ban coming in, it hasn't been announced just yet when it's happening, so there is dogs still getting moved about up there.
Just explain the logistics of this. What's your motivation for doing this, and how many and why are you transporting these dogs up north?
I just think they're beautiful dogs. I mean, the press they've received is just...
I just don't think they're beautiful dogs. Y'all remember this was the guy with all that spit and saliva over his shirt. Lord. Dirt brain and dirt clothes, dirt body. Just a raggedy mind and raggedy clothes.
It's just all wrong. It's always like suspect.
Now, you heard what he said. He said the press. Remember, you're talking to the press. So I think already these journalists were a little offended. And I think that kicked it off. They're going to go at this guy as they should, and I think they embarrassed him.
I just think they're beautiful dogs. I mean, the press they've received is just, it's just all wrong. It's always like suspected XL bully attacks. Nothing to ever...
Suspected XL bully attacks? That is a lie. Where in the press have you heard that? Where has he heard that? He said the press that they get is all wrong because the press says XL suspected XL bully. What are you saying? That they say that too often? Are they saying that in every attack report? They always say suspected XL? No, they don't. They do indicate XL bully, and it doesn't make a difference. Again, he's trying to push this idea that there's some big difference between an XL bully and other bully breeds. There isn't, and that has not been substantiated. You can't even find a good number of reports where they say suspected XL bully. So he's just already making stuff up. He's pulling stuff out of thin air already. I told you, their argument is based on lying.
It's just all wrong. It's always like suspected XL bully attacks. Nothing's ever proved, and you know the press jump on it. I just think they're giving them a bad name.
Not exactly proved. And they haven't been proved that they were not XL bullies. Man, wow, this is crazy. We're not even a minute in. You can see he's being a pathological liar already.
The press jump on it. I just think they're giving them a bad name for it. I mean, they're so loving, these dogs. Absolutely.
They're so loving. That's his argument.
Loving, so, you know, I'm willing to try and save as many as I can.
So, Phil, they have announced a date now in Scotland, the 31st of July.
Get him.
But the legislation is going to be very similar to what it is in England and Wales, if not actually the same. I think the word ban is unhelpful. The dog breed is not being banned as long as you get an exemption certificate. And then when the dog goes out, it needs to be on a lead and wearing a muzzle. I think for people who've got really serious concerns about how dangerous some of these dogs have been, that's a good compromise, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think a lot of them are dangerous at all. It's all about, it's the owner. I would say people are more dangerous. You know, if you want to make any dog aggressive, you can make that dog aggressive. I mean, the attack the other day on a person, you know.
People are more dangerous. Shut up. Shut up with that. Again, you would much rather walk through, let's say, 1,000 humans opposed to 1,000 XL bullies. Shut up. You know full well every human on this planet would trust that they wouldn't get randomly mutilated by a stranger they don't know. People are more dangerous. What are you talking about, dude? But listen, I'm going to let the journalists have at him.
If you want to make any dog aggressive, you can make that dog aggressive. I mean, the attack the other day on a person, you know, the bloke was bitten quite severely, but it wasn't reported that before that happened, he was beating that dog with a stick.
Yeah, but Phil, this is the National Rifle Association argument, isn't it? That guns don't kill people, people do. You can't blame the owners. You can't blame the owners when you're walking around with essentially a loaded gun.
No, it's definitely. Do you know what? It is the owners. I mean, you know, if you've got control of that dog,
it's not the owners that attack people, is it? It's the dogs. It's the dogs that cause the damage.
But if you've got control, that wouldn't happen, would it?
Yeah, but if you don't have control, why take the risk of having the dogs on the streets?
Well, you shouldn't have what? You shouldn't have. I mean, it can be any.
Mind you, people, this is the same guy, this guy right here, who said that he doesn't know who that dog will attack. He said you never know when or if your own dog will launch an attack on someone. But then he said, but I got complete control of it. We all know that. This man ain't got no magical powers. He's just a liar up here lying.
Streets.
You shouldn't have what? You shouldn't have. I mean, it can be any dog.
Here you go. But one more thing. He's completely pushing the idea that he got control over the dog's brain and that if an XL bully launches an attack, he will be able to 100% prevent it. Something that hasn't happened, has never happened.
What? You shouldn't have. I mean, it can be any dog. You shouldn't have them. I mean, I witnessed so many dogs.
Or a poodle. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference. These dogs are incredibly strong.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Well, like I say, if you've got the right training with them.
But the point is, we've realised, due to the fatalities that have happened over the last couple of years, that we don't have the right owners. So what are you going to do?
Well, it just needs to be. I don't know. I think the muzzling thing's wrong. I don't agree with that.
Why not?
I just.
Y'all remember I told y'all these people are 100% unreasonable. They refuse to compromise, not even a little bit. Again, indicating that they're plumb out of their mind. A bunch of narcissists who have to always be right and always be the victim. It's sickening. Sickening to watch these people behave the way that they do, and annoying.
So what are you going to do?
Well, it just needs to be. I don't know. I think the muzzling thing's wrong. I don't agree with that.
Why not?
The muzzling of a dog is wrong. You being in possession of it is wrong. That's what's wrong. To be out in a public area, people out there with their families, and to see you walk around with a bully breed, that is what's wrong. And you shouldn't be allowed to. Lord, these people just totally selfish.
I just think because a lot of them aren't aggressive. And
now he's just saying a lot of them, what do you say? A lot of them aren't aggressive. So he's acknowledging that a certain portion of them will be aggressive. This is not a good argument. This is not a good, you're up here confessing. Making confessions, you're conceding. No, you're losing the argument now, dude.
So what are you going to do?
Well, it just needs to be. I don't know. I think the muzzling thing's wrong. I don't agree with that.
Why not?
I just think because a lot of them aren't aggressive.
A lot of them aren't aggressive. That's why you think that none of them should have a muzzle, because a lot of them are not aggressive. A lot can be 30%. A lot are not aggressive. That could be 30%. So 70 are aggressive. So none of them should have a muzzle because 30% are not aggressive. Shut up. This is a dirt brain. Sitting up here babbling. Wow.
I don't agree with that.
Why not?
I just think because a lot of them aren't aggressive, and to put, why don't you muzzle some people? Some people are aggressive, aren't they?
That's your answer? Some of them are not aggressive, and maybe we should muzzle some people because people are more dangerous? Look at the expression on this lady's face. That is fitting. How idiotic. How idiotic.
I just think because a lot of them aren't aggressive, and to put, why don't you muzzle some people? Some people are aggressive, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's the same argument about why do you not walk around with a loaded gun?
The arguments as to whether this legislation is right or not are sort of now a moot point because it has come into force, and now it's about how owners, how animal rescue centres deal with it. Let's bring in Vanessa again. I think we've managed to establish that line. Vanessa.
So he offered nothing. He offered nothing in defense of these things. All he did was make them look bad. Wow. Now, here's round two. Round one, L for the dog lovers. It was an L for the dog lovers. Let's go with round two.
From your perspective, Vanessa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Sorry about that.
From your perspective, you're looking after animals at a rescue centre. How does this complicate what you're trying to do, which is look after animals that, people have either abandoned or don't want? You were so
she sounded so
Sadly
clear.
for us, definitely we would
go.
have to euthanise any ex-bully that comes into our care now. We are bound by the same legislation as owners are. We cannot rehome them. So sadly, we have to make heartbreaking decisions. Now, we work in animal welfare because we care passionately about dogs. We care about welfare of dogs.
Thanks for admitting that, ma'am. I've been saying that for the longest. You all are a bunch of behaviorists and veterinarians and whatnot because you're a bunch of dog lovers, which means you're going to constantly lie.
Working animal welfare because we care passionately about dogs. We care about welfare of dogs. So you can imagine how heartbreaking that is for us.
So, Vanessa, sorry, the line was a little bit tricky, but just to be really clear, you're saying you're making decisions that those dogs need to be put down. Can you explain why that is? Because we understand that you can get a licence, the dogs have got to be muzzled and on a lead, and then they're exempt from the ban. Why can't you use that type of legislation and get the certificate for the XL bullies that are in your care?
Because the legislation states that from the 31st of December, you cannot rehome an XL bully. So that applies to owners and to rescues equally. So the window for exemption closed yesterday, but the actual window for rehoming closed on the 31st of December.
Do you agree with that exemption, or do you think it's cruel?
Absolutely, we do not agree in any way, shape or form. Banning a breed does not tackle the underlying problems, how a dog is bred, how it's reared, and the experiences throughout their lifetime. That will influence the dog's behaviour.
That is not the only thing that influences dogs' behavior. She sat there and told a bold-faced lie. She straight up and down sat there and lied.
Not agree in any way, shape or form. Banning a breed does not tackle the underlying problems, how a dog is bred.
Yes, it does. You just got to put the right ban in place. These bans that y'all put in place was designed not to work. So don't give me that either.
How it's reared.
How they're bred. And you know what hasn't been proven? It has not been proven that how you breed them makes any type of difference. No matter if you raise them, slapping them around, or if you never slap them around. Those dogs grow up to launch attacks. That has been proven. So again, she has no point. Not one of her points are valid. Not a single one.
Tackle the underlying problems, how a dog is bred, how it's reared, and the experiences throughout their life.
How it's bred, reared, and its experiences growing up is only some of the things that influence its behavior. Don't tell us that its breed doesn't influence its behavior, woman. Are you seriously? You're not trying to say that. So the fact that all these dogs have been bred to do certain things, what is she talking about? All of that's irrelevant now. How they're bred, what they were bred for is irrelevant now. Why? Because she says so. Magically, bully breeds, how they were inbred over several generations, is all of your imagination. It has nothing to do. Bully breeds are actually no different from a poodle, according to this lady.
It's reared and the experiences throughout their lifetime. That will influence the dog's behaviour, irrespective of breed. The types of irresponsible owners that have been responsible for some of these tragic
are just like you, big Michelin woman, looking like a hot air balloon. I know you're unstable on your feet. Several of the owners of these things look just like they're built just like you. You're not going to sit there and tell me that you're not one of these irresponsible people that we're talking about right now. Are these people so delusional and evil? Liars are evil people.
Throughout their lifetime, that will influence the dog's behaviour, irrespective of breed. The types of irresponsible owners that have been responsible for some of these tragic incidents will only move on to the next powerful breed.
Now, she's suggesting that all of the dogs that have launched attacks were bred by fighting or for fighting. How ridiculous is this? She sounds completely out of her mind. That argument only works with dog fighting, that people will go on to the next powerful breed. And if people just want a powerful breed, yeah, they'll get another bully breed. That's why you don't make any bully breeds available. That's the type of band that works. Michelin Lady, Pillsbury Doe Woman. And I'm pointing this out to point out how unfit she is. You're an obese woman. Shut up. You ain't no physical specimen capable of controlling no XL bully woman. Shut up. I would imagine when these responsible owners are people like herself. Would you feel safe if this was your neighbor? This woman right here was your neighbor and she walking around with an XL bully? You know that thing can attack anybody it wants. And what's she gonna do? Scream for help? You lunatics, man. Continue.
Irrespective of breed, the types of irresponsible owners that have been responsible for some of these tragic incidents will only move on to the next powerful breed. They won't care. It won't impact them. This will only impact responsible owners.
How do you stop?
There are no responsible owners, Miss Piggy, Miss Double Whopper with cheese. People owning these things is the problem. I don't want to hear about the owner's character. Them owning it tell me everything I need to know about their character.
Dog attacks then.
What we would like to see is a clampdown on irresponsible breeding.
Yeah, she so pathetic and tired. How do you crack down on irresponsible breeding, ma'am? We can't control how individual people raise dogs inside of the privacy of their own home. What are you talking about? It wouldn't work anyways. What are you going to do? Make a law that everybody has to raise dogs with hugs and kisses and nothing else? Those dogs grow up to attack too. I know. And owners like you are usually the ones who own those dogs. We've never seen it act aggressive. We raised it with love, hugs, and kisses. What you gonna do if you crack down on irresponsible breeding? We know what you're talking about. You're making wild guesses because you ain't no professional. These are con artists.
What we would like to see is a clampdown on irresponsible breeding with improved breeding legislation and more resources put into enforcement. There aren't enough boots on the ground to tackle the sheer...
Listen to this lunacy. You don't need boots on the ground to protect a bunch of idiots from their own so-called pets. What in the world do you sound like right now? We need soldiers out there protecting people from so-called pests they brought into their own stupid homes?
Scale of the problem of illegal breeding. We should be using dog control notices. So these are a tool that can control a dog that is causing a nuisance. It's actually designed to tackle the problem behavior of that individual dog.
What is she talking about? More reactionary stuff? I don't even know what she's talking about. Let's listen to that again.
Here, scale of the problem of illegal breeding. We should be using dog control notices.
Dog control notices? Listen to this nutter. This Nuttery right here. Dirt brain Nuttery.
So these are a tool that can control a dog that is causing a nuisance.
Control a dog that is causing a nuisance? What is she talking about? What kind of nuisance? Like if it bites somebody, throw it out? Now we're just going to respond, huh? I don't even know what she's talking about.
Control a dog that is causing a nuisance. It's actually designed to tackle the problem behaviour of that individual dog. It stops problems escalating. We want more focus on responsible dog initiatives.
What is she talking? What is that? I don't know what she was talking about, what she meant right there. She didn't make no, she's not making no sense. Just be quiet, lady. How about that? Just be quiet.
Responsible dog initiatives. So a collaborative approach with animal welfare organisations, the police and local authorities.
Blah, 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 blah. No, you idiotic people, suicidal psychopaths simply need to stop acquiring dangerous predators, bringing them into the community and calling them pets. This is ridiculous.
Working together, and we also need tougher sentencing. So if serious offences are committed, then it actually acts as a deterrent. All of these things will have impact.
One of the challenges, it seems to be, in sorting out this legislation is actually identifying the breed, the XL bully. What can you tell us about the sort of underground breeding that we know takes place, which means you're crossing breeds with others, and therefore you get this new type of species, the XL bully, and then that's complicated to try and say to police or the authorities, no, I know what my breed is, it's this, we've checked it, because new breeds are being sort of emerging all the time.
Okay, I don't think that's important. Not important at all. So I'm going to skip it. And that's the end of that. Both of these individuals brought on here as some type of experts, you heard for yourself, sound crazy. Absolutely crazy. And we know the stuff that they're talking about doesn't work because they've been talking like this for a few decades now, saying the same things. And the attacks go up each year, higher and higher. And they're saying that we should do more of what has been failing. We should do more of what has not worked. I think it's the breeding. Irresponsible breeding. What do you mean you think it's the breeding? Oh, well, I think people are inside the home raising dogs from puppies with violence. That's what I think's going on. Well, that don't work in the real world, Nutters. But you and what you think is not what is relied upon. Hopefully someday these people will understand that. But yeah, this lunacy was uploaded on a channel with almost 1 million subscribers. It's like, wow. So a huge audience can see this madness. See how crazy they sound. So, hey, my channel is not far-fetched. Y'all come to my channel and talk about it like it's extreme. No, it's not. This is extreme. Extreme insanity. I'm just pointing it out. Wow. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on that trying my best to keep up with.
85-year-old man is dead after a pair of aggressive dogs attacked him on Indy's northeast side.
Such a tragic story in our community. John Duran today talked to a man who lives in that very same neighborhood, and he claims that he was bitten by the very same dogs nearly a week before that attack yesterday.
Okay, they talk about this recent fatality.
Indianapolis Animal Care Services is still in the neighborhood near 21st and Arlington a day after a deadly dog attack. Speaking with one man who says he was attacked by the same dogs last week.
They're worse than I thought. They still are looking for the black and white, aren't they?
Yeah, I know. Mark Lowe was out walking his dog Dante last Wednesday.
There's where it's almost healed now.
He says about 2 blocks from his house, they were ambushed.
They just grabbed him, first of all, the pit did, and started taking...
Yeah. You're a dog lover too. You're in danger of the community too. This dog is dangerous too. I don't want to hear it. But this is a shame that a dog that's said to have killed someone was involved in other attacks. And this is the norm. We hear this a lot. And dog lovers always insist on minimizing the seriousness of dog attacks. And that's what people are tired of. Yeah, we're going to put a stop to that. Talking about dog attacks as if it's a minor thing. A minor thing to worry about. The injuries left
Police are investigating
by dogs is really hard to compare. It's hard to find anywhere else.
a gruesome case of animal abuse on the South Shore. A man is charged with poisoning and then stabbing his dog to death. Let's go live to Kingston, where NBC 10's Michael Rosenfield is following this breaking story.
Okay, somebody tried to overdose or poison their own dog with fentanyl. And I guess it didn't work, so they tried to stab it to death.
Michael.
Glenn, this really is a horrific case of animal cruelty. A man apparently really wanted his dog dead, but it's unknown why. The incident allegedly happened right here at this apartment complex in Kingston this afternoon in a fourth-floor apartment here at the Point at Kingston. A neighbor heard a commotion and called police. When officers arrived, they say they found the dog, a 60-pound bull terrier mix named Brutus, and it had been stabbed with barbecue skewers. The suspect, identified as 44-year-old.
Barbecue skewers? Now, a lot of you know I'm vegan, so I'm not familiar with utensils used to barbecue. I don't know what a barbecue skewer is. So I'm going to look it up. I want to know what this object looks like that he used to stab this dog. Okay. If any of you are not aware, I'll show a quick image. Okay. I think I remember these skewers. He stabbed the dog with this. This guy sounded like he was temporarily insane. Cut him some slack.
Jonathan Paluzzi had fled the scene but returned while officers were in the apartment. His parents, who live in the unit, are cooperating with the investigation. Police say Paluzzi had attempted to have the dog euthanized, then tried to poison Brutus with the...
Okay, well, what happened? Can't you have your dog euthanized? They refused to do it? Tell him he had to keep it? What happened?
Drug fentanyl before the stabbing.
It sounds like he intended on giving the dog away, trying to give it to a shelter.
Does that sound believable? That he would feed his dog fentanyl in hopes of poisoning it? Or does it sound more believable that the dog ate his fentanyl and the man got angry because the dog ate his dope and stabbed it? Like a drug addict, if they finally get a hold of some drugs and the dog eats it, I would believe a story of him stabbing it. Very believable.
He also apparently had tried to get it euthanized, but nobody would euthanize it because it was healthy. So for one reason or another, he wanted to get rid of the dog.
Oh, stop. You can give it away to a shelter. Now, is there something I don't know about? Can you be forced to keep your own dog? So I don't understand that. I don't get that, but let's continue. Is everything okay? My live stream looked funny. Wait a minute. What is this? Okay, we should be good. My live stream looking funny here. Let's continue.
Apparently decided the best way to do that was to kill it.
So right now, the defendant is in jail. He's expected to be arraigned.
Lord, that sounds funny. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. A lot of stabbing going on. Right? This joker right here has some fentanyl. This man right here stabbed his girlfriend's dog multiple times. He's also charged. A lot of stabbing going on here. Is it karma? Is it karma? So many people going to the grave, being stabbed to death by dogs, and it called an accident, no justice at all. Okay, understand the violation of the law. Every single attack that's called an accident is injustice. These things fully intended on stabbing these victims, whether or not they died. Don't tell me that's an accident. If that's an accident, then when your dog behaves well, that's an accident too. So don't talk to me about how good they behave. It's an accident. Lord. So this buddy, responsible for stabbing his girlfriend's dog. Okay, hey, maybe he was drunk. The report does read he'd been drinking heavily. Let's not come down too hard on him. There was also a story of a
3-year-old and his grandmother are in the hospital tonight following a dog attack in southwest Miami-Dade. Chopper 4 over the scene along 182nd Avenue and 244th Street.
Miami-Dade. By the way, congratulations, Miami-Dade. I remember when y'all was bragging about removing the pit bull ban down there. Okay? I was online, video's still up, telling y'all that you needed to not only keep that ban in place, but to include all the other bully breeds to the ban. Well, here you go.
Miami-Dade Animal Services tells us the child and his grandmother were the victims of an unprovoked attack by the family's 2-year-old.
Oh! Just like most, if not all, other reports, they point out it was unprovoked. And doesn't it make it even more crazy how so many so-called experts say these attacks are in fact provoked? Where are you getting that from? This is the norm with dog attack reports, from the point out that it was unprovoked. So where y'all getting that from?
2-year-old German Shepherd. The two suffered what's described as extensive unprovoked attack by the family's 2-year-old German. The child and his grandmother were the victims of an unprovoked attack by the family's 2-year-old German Shepherd. The two suffered what's described as extensive injuries. Miami-Dade Animal Services tells us because of the nature of the attack, the dog will be humanely euthanized.
And here's the thing. Scary. This is scary. The longer I'm alive, the longer I'm on this earth, I feel like I'm getting smarter. I'm getting more wise as time passes. How can you be an elderly person and not feel uncomfortable inside of a home with an infant in a bully breed? I read a comment from a listener yesterday who said that some old people can't even shoot a gun. Their hand's not strong enough. Couldn't even fire a gun. So if you can't even do that, what make you think you can fight off a dog? What makes these elderly people think that they can physically control a dog like this? But yet, they're cooped up inside of homes all across the country, just like this. That's incredible to me. You haven't gotten any smarter despite being on this planet for several decades.
A 3-year-old.
That is madness. That's madness to me, people. Now, this dog that killed this elderly man, 85-year-old pastor, he wasn't just anybody. You know, he was like an important person. The neighborhood pastor is always an important person. That dog is still...
Metro Police are still looking
on the loose. This reported 19 hours ago. How's that possible? Haven't found the dog yet? That's crazy. Let's listen.
Right now, Metro Police and animal...
Not that one. Now, this one was reported first.
For the owner of this dangerous... Metro Police are still looking for the owner of this dangerous dog. The dog, along with another, attacked and killed an 85-year-old man on the east side yesterday. CBS 4's Eric Graves talked to neighbors who say...
Now, this is... Look at it. What kind of dog is that? A bully breed. That's all we need to know.
Aggressive dogs have been an ongoing problem on their streets.
Indianapolis Animal Care Services officers back in this neighborhood off 21st and Shadeland now looking for another dog that could have potentially been involved in that dangerous attack on Tuesday. This black and white dog is who Indianapolis Animal Care Services workers were after Wednesday. We watched as officers tried to corral it. This is at least the second day of officers trying to get this dog into custody.
The second day? So they gave up one day. That's the norm, right? That's the norm. They said, we'll look again tomorrow. We'll leave it out there. Wow. Should have shot it. Wasn't that hard. I bet you I could catch it.
This is video we shot Tuesday of the same dog eluding the authorities. Officers told us Wednesday there's a possibility...
Well, you can't go through shooting dog, which is too bad. Too bad. Because they would shoot a lion if it was in the neighborhood. They always do. These are no different from the wild animals that cops would shoot on sight if they saw them in the neighborhood. They'll kill an adult just like a lion to kill an adult. So treat them just like we treat any other animal like this.
The dog was involved in the attack that killed this man, 85-year-old Willie Mundine, Tuesday morning at his home near Kenyon and Nimitz Drive on the east side.
My granddaddy, he came outside to kind of like shoo him off in the backyard, and then they just started attacking him.
We interviewed Mundine's granddaughter, Holly Watkins, Tuesday, who saw what happened. Just a street over, Mark Lowe says he was attacked last week.
They came and attacked us from the back. We didn't see them coming. I started with my fists.
Lowe showed us one of the places the dogs bit him on his arm. We showed him video of the black and white dog and the picture of the dog IMPD says attacked Mundine. He says those were the same dogs that attacked him. He says he made a report to IACS and wished the dogs would have been captured before the deadly encounter Tuesday.
Well, it's awful. I wish I could have done more. I don't know what else.
This attack represents a larger problem of a rise in animal bites in the city. There were more than 1,100 bites reported to IACS in 2023. That's steadily risen from just more than 700 in 2020. IACS was not available for an interview on the trend or to talk about their search for the other dog.
Keep in mind, they've been running with this narrative that dog attacks are on the rise because of the COVID lockdown. That's why I'm happy that I created my channel before 2020. Because on my channel, my original channel, you can see the dog attacks were on a rise before lockdown. They were going up every year before lockdown. And they're saying, oh, it's because of lockdown. No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't ever let them get away with it. Talking about the COVID lockdown is why we have so many dog attacks today.
PD is handling the investigation into Mundine's death. Officers are searching for the owner of the dog who attacked Mundine and looking for anyone else who's seen or encountered the dog before.
We want to know if there were incidents of this in the past. Have that dog or those dogs been out in the neighborhood roaming, or has there been any other dog attacks?
They say this could result in criminal charges for the owner of the dog, if there is one. If you recognize that dog we showed you in the picture earlier or know who might own that dog,
get out of here, nutters. Go get all of them. Each and every one. Now that was reported first. After that, I think it's this one. Listen to this.
Animal Control Services are still searching for the owner of this dog who killed an 85-year-old man. Tonight, they're still trying to capture the second dog who was involved in that attack. All of this unfolding on the east side of Indianapolis near 21st and Arlington. So as this search continues tonight, our Logan Gay takes a closer look at what every pet owner needs to know about dangerous animal attacks.
Neighbors in the Eastside community are being a little extra cautious and staying close to home, while IMPD and IACS search for a dog that's been terrorizing them for over a week. The dog was one of two that recently attacked and killed an 85-year-old man on Tuesday. Mark Lowe says he and his dog were attacked by the same dogs last Wednesday.
I told him he was going to kill somebody.
Along with the dog, IMPD is also searching to figure out if the dogs have owners and where they are. They shared this picture of one of the dogs that was captured after being shot by an IMPD officer, hoping
How have they not caught this thing? We got satellite imagery, helicopters, automobiles. Really? A dog still on the run?
Picture of one of the dogs that was captured after being shot by an IMPD officer, hoping someone will recognize him.
It is very important for us to know if there is an owner that is responsible for this animal, or if this animal is a stray dog and has no owner.
Listen, it makes no difference. If it has an owner, it's still vicious. If it's a stray, it's still vicious. Just get rid of the dogs themselves. Stop with this.
This got us thinking about what laws pet owners have to obey here in Indiana. According to McCready Law, Indiana has something called the one-bite rule. Essentially, this rule gives most dog owners a one-time pass the first time their dog bites someone. After that, owners can be held liable if their dog causes injury.
Yeah, they'll give you a fine. Get a free bite, and each subsequent attack, you get a fine. Why can't that apply to people? Why can't I get a free stab or a free shot? A free punch? Why can't I just go sock somebody in the face and they say, well, this is the first time you did it, so go home? They put dogs above people. They allow dogs to do things that we'll get in trouble for if we do the exact same things to a person. Oh, it's a dog. Okay.
Causes injury. Below says owner or no owner. This community just wants the dogs off the street.
So far, I haven't taken them on any walk. I want them gone.
Gone so they can finally move forward. In Indianapolis, Logan Gay, 13 News.
Indiana Animal Care Services continues to look for that dog that's on the loose tonight. So here is their recommendation for anyone who comes into contact with an unfamiliar dog. First things first, prioritize your safety. If you're able to get a photo of the dog without risk to yourself, post it with the location to the Indy Lost Pet Alert website.
Without risk to yourself. Listen to how hazardous, how dangerous this creature sounds. Y'all hauling these same animals, so-called animals, beasts. You're hauling these same beasts into preschools and schools across the country in droves to condition the students to walk up to them when they see them out in public. That's what they're doing. And that's the whole purpose of these therapy dogs. They're training young people to go up to dogs when they see them. It's not enough to just, say hi or wave. They want to teach you, or young people, when you see them, go up to them and ask the owner if you can pet it. This will maximize attacks. Could that be a contributor to the increase in dog attacks? I don't want to hear about the COVID lockdown. Let's look at the things that y'all been suggesting that people do. Because I think it's much more likely that things like that has contributed. I've reported several stories where this has happened. Right before the attack, the victim went up to the owner and asked for permission to pet it. Dog culture also ushered in the idea of bringing dogs inside of the home. They had become very much against keeping dogs outside. Could that have contributed to the increase in dog attacks? I don't want to hear nothing about no COVID lockdown. Let's look at what y'all been doing. Look at your culture. They say most attacks take place inside the home. Look at TikTok. Y'all have made it a trend to take selfies and record videos of yourself, and you always put your face right next to a dog's face. Could that have contributed? You got images and videos all over the internet where you got young people on top of dogs, playing with dogs. You bring them around dogs and leave them alone with those dogs. Take a photo, record a video, upload on social media, get a bunch of likes and attention. Could that, because all of this behavior has increased as dog attacks have increased. Basically, being around dogs more, being closer to them, is what drives attacks. People got attacked less often when they spent less time with the things. Nobody is provoking these mutants. They're simply anti-human. They're our worst enemy. More people waking up to this fact, and it's a fact. They are nothing but parasites. Their relationship with humans is a parasitic relationship. That can never be positive. It's not beneficial at all in any way. It's time to wake up and be anti-dog forever. And that's another thing. I think the dog industry understands this too. Humans will be anti-dog once. Just like individuals will never go back to being a dog lover. I believe the masses, you'll never be able to pull that on them again. That's terrible. That is crazy. That's crazy how it's not like food addiction. You know how a lot of people can give up junk food, but then they'll backtrack, they'll fall back, they'll have a weak moment, a weak day where they indulge in junk food and they love it. That whole day, boy, they feel like they're in heaven. This is not like that. Once you go anti-dog, it's a wrap. You're never going back to being a nutter. That's how ridiculous being a dog lover is. Right? Once you snap out of it, you never go back. What is today? Shout out to everybody. Is it hump day? It's Thursday. Good. Good. I thought it was Wednesday. Man, I love when that happens. You know, you think it's a certain day and it's the subsequent day. We're closer to the weekend. Oh, man. Y'all gonna have to forgive me if you sent me an email or if you sent anything, because I've been so busy and I wanted to fill y'all in. I convinced my landlord to offer me a lease, a deal, and I'm gonna stay here for another year. Yeah, I'm gonna stay here for another year. And when I decide to get out of here, I'll be a little more prepared. The thing is, it looked like rent is high everywhere. Like if you want to stay on the outside or in the suburb, it's high everywhere. They're making you pay. So, and like I said, I noticed where they have no dogs allowed or they have a weight limit, you got to pay. And I'm not mad at that. I ain't mad at that. Bring it on. But shout out to the landlords for being that smart. Because you look at dog culture, how popular it is. The one place where you don't find dogs being elevated is with these landlords. The policies are just as they're very anti-dog. Like I said, many of them are cats only, and many others are weight limit, no large dogs. These things are a menace to society. Shout out to everybody able to join me on Thursday's installment, and I will chop it up with you. Oh, last night I meant to go live and I fell asleep. Now I was so tired I just fell asleep. I sat in my chair. I think I prepared the alert, right? Because I just ended the alert before I went live today. I came home, I was so tired, I was beat. Sat in my chair, I set the YouTube setting, sent the alert. And when I woke up, I sat in the chair and fell asleep. And I had sat there for like 3 hours. And when I opened my eyes, it felt like I only took a nap for maybe 5 minutes. But I was out for like 3 hours. So I was dead tired. So I fell asleep last night. That's why I didn't go live with the members last night. I'm well rested. I will be live tonight. And I hope you all are able to join me as we continue with this crusade.